What is up, y'all? It is your boy Stephlyon, and today we're going to be reacting to a board gamer video. Star Citizen new game-changing updates. Wait, what are you talking about? Let's get right into this reaction.
Hello and welcome to a Star Citizen monthly report looking at what CIG have been working on for the last few weeks and what they're focused on now in September 2025. New gameplay mechanics, new medical gameplay is actually on.
Wait. New gameplay mechanics, medical gameplay? That might be fire. Medical gameplay? Look. It might be fire because there is so much room for medical gameplay and it's just not there. And I'm pretty sure the stuff that is there isn't working, which is people are really mad about because there's so many medical ships, medic this, medic that, but we can't really do nothing with it, you know?
Veiled here and they talk about it and much more. So a hotfix was deployed on the 4.3 live branch addressing multiple crash issues as well as overspawning AI around locations in the persistent universe and adjusting the...
Yo, okay, so basically when I was doing stuff on missions and things, I was like, there's way too many ops here. Like, were they spawning too many NPC ops? Because what's going on? Because I would literally be doing missions and it'd be like 200 ships have to fight. Why me? Why me? Why only me?
Let's jump into the Persistent Universe monthly report with some ship updates to start with. Ooh. So the Anvil Paladin progressed into its LOD 0 phase, the highest detail stage.
Paladin?
Having had feedback from the Grey Box Gate review action.
Wait, Anvil Paladin? Wait, let me look this up. What? The heli? What the heliante? Bro, this is like the Asgard. Wait, no. Is CIG about to make another Asgard? This looks cooler than the Asgard. Oh hell nah. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guns, right? Yo, this looks better than the Asgard. Does it have cargo though? Cargo? Look how big it is. It has to have cargo. Why do these technical specs don't say no, the technical specs don't say cargo? Nah, but you can see this is just straight up a demon, bro. This is a demon. It actually looks so fire. What the hell? Yo, look at this thing though. Oh, that's what it's gonna look like. It's gonna look like, yeah, that's actually fire. Low key, I've started to realize like, Anvil makes some really dope ships. I ain't gonna lie. Let me not hold you. Let me not be like weirdly. Anvil makes some really dope ships. They're creeping up there on my favorite freaking manufacturers, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
And the exterior, which was slightly behind the interior, is now caught up, allowing for further refinement between the two. The Kruger L21 Wolf was released, with the team excited to see the reception to the new ship. They also continued to bug fix issues found during the release of the ship, such as the glass shader being excessively worn, alongside implementing the component bays, as the ship was not at gold standard on release. The Drake Ironclad...
See, I'm not too versed in this whole gold standard things, but from my understanding of it is that there's a lot of ships that are really old, and when they're making the new ships, they're doing this gold standard pass, which is giving them all the new things that we have in the game and the room for all the things that we will have in the game. I'm like, he just said the whole ass Kruger, a brand new ship, wasn't at gold standard pass. If what I've learned about it and what you guys have told me about it is how it is, how dare you release a ship this year that isn't up to spec? Like, that's kind of crazy to me, you know what I'm saying?
Ironclad Assault progressed towards their white box reviews, with the team finalizing the asset kit that will be used across this and other Drake ships. Work on the RSI Aurora and the Aegis Hammerhead kicked off to bring them up to current standards, focusing first on...
Oh, the Aurora and the Hammerhead are getting changed. That's pretty cool because I feel like the Aurora it's looked down upon, but it's actually a decent ship. The only problem I had with the ship was the fact that I was just new. That was my first ever pledge, was the Aurora, right? And I just didn't know how to really use it, but it was because I was new. Once I got my head around the game, I was already on the Avenger Titan, and it's like, I wish I kept the Aurora because it wasn't terrible. I was just terrible. So I feel like if you're starting and you're using the Aurora, don't give up on it. It's actually a decent ship, especially for its size and its speed. It's actually pretty nice. I ain't gonna lie to you.
On their cockpit and dashboard views, as well as physicalizing components. Really happy seeing that these are getting some updates, especially the Aurora. Some of the team then moved on to a related but unannounced ship. 3 other unannounced ships progressed through August, being worked on by the UK teams. All are currently in various stages within the...
Wait, UK? I thought the teams all moved to the UK. Wasn't there a thing where they were like moving all production to the UK? Or was I tweaking?
Box phase. One is approaching its final review, one is receiving improvements to component accessibility, and the other has just got into grey box after finishing its white box gate review. So yeah, it looks like there might be another medical ship on the cards that we're working on at the moment. I mean, it could be the Endeavour, it could be a variant of a ship that we already have in the game. I mean, it could be they're making very...
Can we make a medical C1 Spirit? Oh, no, Can we make a medical C1 Spirit? Or a medical Hercules? Or a medical, I don't know, something that's from Crusader? Please.
It's for the Apollo, right? Core Gameplay have been working on improvements to medical ship functionality, including the addition of MedGel, which will be required to allow respawning.
Yes! Okay, wait, hold on. Remember, we have been talking about this. If you are not new to this channel, we have been talking about this. There is no way my ship can just allow me to respawn over and over again if I am not putting anything into the ship. And the fact, and think about it for a second. The fact that you're doing this means they're also going to be adding like the function of putting food in your ship, putting food containers into your ship that help you produce food at your food stations, because we asked for this. I want this because there's no point in having these medical ships give you unlimited respawns so you can park off somewhere and just stay and just keep respawning. There has to be something you're losing. And what I was thinking was the fact that we have this resource drive event where we're doing things to help fix the regen crisis. These materials we're gathering should be used in some way to create this medical gel. And at the point when they add in fabrication, imagine we can fabricate the medical gels with all these components. It would make sense, and it would also tie into the lore of the whole thing.
This will further differentiate the utility of various medical vehicles in-game. These improvements also prompted some general improvements to the respawn flow. That's really interesting, right? Animation created assets for the MedGel dispenser and made a pass on death reactions as well. One of the sneak peeks we saw pretty recently was probably this MedGel dispenser. It's a resource MedGel used for respawning. Will Tier 3 medbeds be able to use it like on the back of the Cutlass Red? Maybe. It could be that Tier 3 or...
I'm not sure though, because they're trying to take away the fact that you can respawn in the Tier 3 beds, which is like, why would you add the MedGel to them if you're going to be taking away that functionality anyway? It doesn't make sense.
Or whatever tier of med facilities are more efficient with MedGel or don't allow certain things or only can store a certain amount. But this is a pretty big
certain amount would be nice.
May well be part of Alpha 4.3.1. In fact, it probably is. I'd really like to hear your thoughts.
That's okay. That's going to be cool because I feel like it makes your ships feel like they have purpose. I really hated whenever I rented I bought the Cutlass Red one of the earlier patches before the last wipe, and I hated using it because I was using it, I was respawning in it, but it was just a safety net. It was a safety net that I knew I could spam whenever I needed to, but there wasn't any like real functionality. There was no, oh no, I have 4 more revives or I have 5 more revives before I'm out of gel or I'm out of components and I have to go refill. I was just spamming that shit, bro. I'm just spamming it, bro. But this is gonna give those ships functionality. It has to be immersion.
Work on improvements to the Copian as well as a new creature continued. The devs are working to close out the functionality to support, assumedly, that new creature's unique behaviors and attack moves. I wonder if it's something to do with the Vandal. And the reason I say that is just because there's been a lot of hints at that in the Onyx facilities, that there are a Vandal around, and obviously they've been working on a lot of Squadron 42 stuff. You could have an irradiated or injured Vandal or something.
If they add some aliens that are going to be killing us in the verse, fire, bro, flames.
That's very much an I reckon, though. The engineering screen was updated to show the rate of heat change for components, and they fixed various bugs. For item recovery, the team added the ability to disable components for ships that have been claimed. Additionally, items will now display a timer until they become bricked after they've been claimed.
Oh, they're moving to the next tier. So if a ship is claimed, it gets disabled, and you can't essentially steal that ship anymore. That's going to be very interesting. And armor is going to display a timer before it becomes disabled. It's very interesting, and I think it's a good thing because we're all expecting it. I wanted this, but how is it going to break things? Because it's definitely going to break things. Ooh, and when those ships become disabled, do they start having a despawn timer? Or are people going to be able to get a mission to go like scrape them down and like dismantle them and get resources from them? Or are they just going to stay in the verse? Imagine having a ship that's been dead for 2 months, just staying in the verse because it was disabled. So it stays in the verse. That wouldn't make sense. There has to be a way where we can reclaim it, get rid of them, or they just despawn after a certain amount of time.
This is also displayed to the player as part of a notification when an item is bricked and the player attempts to use it. For crafting, the team implemented an offline version of the blueprint service. This is just a short-term stand-in, though, until they actually start development properly on the blueprint library that's player-bound. They also finished the first playable prototype of crafting in a multiplayer environment. It's great to see them pushing ahead with that. Obviously, that will lead to base building, or is at least connected to base building.
The more they work on that, I'm going to be really happy with, because I really do want it to come in, because I feel like one of the things about exploring, surviving in the universe and in the Star Citizen verse is finding somewhere to call home, creating your own home, and being able to explore, but having somewhere to go back to that you call home, that is personalized to you, and there's a feeling of attachment. When you build a base, no matter what game you're playing, when you build a base, there's a feeling there that you don't get from just getting pre-built things. So I really want to get to the point where I can just build my own base, have my own little compound, fly my ships off and fly back, and going off knowing that I have a home to return to.
IFCS saw further support work for Maelstrom. Destroy parts will now reduce thrust effectiveness, which also addresses a common exploit where non-critical...
Oh, that's good, because there's so many ships. You will absolutely destroy their wings, destroy their like freaking fenders, everything. And these ships don't slow down. They don't lose functionality. They just keep moving like nothing is going on. So if Maelstrom actually helps give some sort of side effect from losing things, beautiful.
Ship parts are destroyed to improve acceleration. Cockpit dashboards will now support the ability to physically animate and vibrate based on various factors, adding another level of fidelity and realism. Examples of triggers include spaceships shooting their weapons or maneuvering at high angles of attack.
And you get the vibrations.
The team worked on various bug fix and polish tasks. Turret weapons are now prevented from firing when aimed at the host vehicle. This will reduce the need for complex turret angle maps, which have caused turrets to aim up and down erratically as players rotated them around. For scanning and radar,
that's good. That's good, because hey, look, anytime you play with someone and they're in your turret, bro, they're like, I'm spinning, I can't aim. So that's actually a good fix.
There's some polish tasks such as improved UI information about targets and better positioning of the scan information for very large targets. Transport also made good progress toward feature parity with the legacy transit system, making it work better with instanced hangars and getting it ready for dynamic server meshing. The inventory work is progressing well too.
This is real. You guys told me that this is actually real. This is what's gonna look like when we get crafting. This looks confusing. I'm just looking at this like, okay, cool. Yeah, I get it. You wanna make it look fancy and everything. All we needed for crafting is simply the same method we use to buy items. You know, when you go to the store, you open the kiosk and there's all the items you can buy. How about you do the same thing? But at the bottom where you have the money, normally there's the money, how much money you have. It's either at the top or the bottom, I don't remember. Instead of money, you have the resources. Like you see these resources here. Instead of the money, you have these resources and it shows you how money you have. Then you can literally go to helmets, arms, chest piece, leg pieces, backpacks, weapons, and any of the blueprints you own show up there, and you can choose which one you want to craft. You click it, it tells you costs 100 of these, 200 of this, and 400 of this, and you pressed craft. We don't need all of this. This is too much. This is way too much. Just make it look like the shop kiosks and add these instead of the money. That's it. That's it, bro.
The team implementing proximity looting, which will allow players to loot from multiple nearby inventory containers simultaneously. I really like the gamification of some systems
realistic.
like this. Some people might be like, no, I want the immersion of doing it individually and walking over to
Exactly. We want the immersion. What? Loot from... I'm playing Star Citizen, bro. I'm not playing freaking ESO or freaking, I don't know, Power World. I'm playing freaking Star Citizen, bro. I want to be able to do that. You want to be able to do that because that's the point. The point where we're here for the immersion. We're here for a little bit of the grind, you know? It doesn't kill that much time anyway.
be they bodies, be they chests or cupboards or whatever, but I like being able to gamify some of this stuff. I am playing a game after all. The new UI also had filters and search implemented. An upcoming event was given additional support to improve existing mission archetypes and better support mission availability scaling. They also worked through various fixes for freight elevator issues, medical beacons, and physics exploits.
Okay, you're still working on the
team's focus
elevators.
remained on analyzing performance and optimizing engine and game code. The economy team progressed with the new iteration of the economy based on data they recently gathered. They are currently looking into changes to the buying and selling of FPS weapons and prices for that and armor and consumables. The devs also continued their work to bring existing missions back to older locations, which will expand the pool of available locations for players and bring back various interesting encounters. They're also preparing for
so they're bringing things back to places that they used to be. I don't know about you guys, but I low-key want the delivery missions back. Like, when I first started playing Star Citizen, the first mission I did was a delivery mission. I had to go retrieve boxes and bring them. Like, that was so smooth. That was like my first time playing Star Citizen. And it made me love the game because it was just like, go to this location, find these boxes. There's enemies at these locations. I had to figure out how to kill the enemies. Figured out how to get gear from the enemies. Took these boxes, brought these boxes back to my ship, put them in, and flew all the way back to ArcCorp. I went to the freaking skyscrapers and dropped them off. That was so beautiful. Bring it back.
Is the new medical gameplay, but potentially some other bits and bobs as well. We do know that they're working on carriers and mothership mechanics, so you can rearm, repair, and refuel in certain ship hangars like the Idris or the Polaris, probably. With the release of the ASD Onyx facilities, the narrative team turned their focus to polishing the next round of content that players will discover there. The team also continued to work on developing a new hostile faction that will be making its debut in a later patch, establishing
a new faction. So no longer Frontier Fighters and the tattooed hooligans. I already deserted Frontier Fighters, so I need someone else. If they make the armor look cool, I'm not saying I might be there, but I might have to indulge.
Character art, some armor for a new gang, assumedly the one we just mentioned. They also continue to work on variants for gameplay rewards and store items. The concept art team started the exploration phase of some new heavy armor. Facial animation.
New heavy armor, finally.
Narrative to capture additional content for releases coming soon and into early next year. They also worked through previously captured dialogue that will soon be available in-game, including for brand new mission givers and additional lines for Amelia Boyd, leader of the Frontier Fighters.
Let's have a conversation for just a few seconds. Recently, I've been playing Star Citizen, and the NPCs have been saying some weird things, making some weird sounds. CIG. Who wrote these lines? Why are they making all these weird sounds? Why are they calling me names? What did I do? Check yourself, bro. Check yourself.
And they continue to support the narrative team and the SSN newsflash reports that will be visible in-game during timed events. I really like that sort of flavour added to the game as I'm walking around and hearing some cool newsflash.
Yeah, I've been hearing that in systems whenever I go somewhere.
The lore of what's happening in the game at the moment and that sort of jazz. So yeah, really, really like that.
Yeah, that is quite a freaking lot. That is a lot. But the thing is, it's like, there's a lot of things that I think are really good. I don't know how they're going to make some of it happen. Some of it I'm like, how are you going to make it happen? Like the crafting, it's all good. We need crafting in the game, but how are you going to make it in a way where it is profitable? Because and it also make it profitable without killing the actual in-game market, you know? And are people going to be able to sell these things? Are you going to add like an auction system to the game where people can craft some rare items and sell them? And what's going to happen? Are people who buy items and buy blueprints, are they going to be able to craft these and sell them, or is it going to still be locked to the player? There's a lot of things to think about there, but I think overall it's going to be a good thing. But I am liking the fact that they're still working on more fixes, especially for like the elevators and things, which is really, really good to see. But yeah, that was a lot of information, good information, more heavy armor. Yeah, things are looking a lot better, definitely. And I'm really happy because after the last patch, this one is actually stable enough where it's like, I'm happy again. I'm happy. And the things that are coming in the future, they all look like they're going to be really, really good things that are gonna keep the game exciting and make testing it not as painful. And when it's time to release the games, there's nothing that's gonna make people run away from the game. But the one thing I'm going to say is I want to only be able to use one container. Okay, how about this? If there's multiple dead bodies, I can only loot from one dead body at a time. But maybe I can open multiple containers at a time. Let's say I have a store all box, or I have two store all boxes. I can open, and they're both beside each other. Yeah. Let's just say they're both beside each other. I can open both of them at the same time. So I can pop all the gear on the dead bodies on the floor, open up two containers at the same time, and just drag and drop. Because there's a way to do it. I've been kind of low-key figuring out a way to do it. You have to make it like a lag out, and then you can open two boxes at the same time, and you can essentially do that. Just make it a normal thing. And I feel like that stops the problem with, oh, I'm losing immersion, because in real life, I can open two boxes and use them at the same time, so it makes sense. But being able to go to two bodies at the same time and doing this, it doesn't make as much sense, you know? But yeah, don't forget, y'all, if you like the reaction, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you like the video I reacted to, this was a board gamer video I reacted to, so make sure to go check out his channel as well. Give him some love over there as well. And I'll see you guys on the next one.